first half, the offense, you just couldn't quite put it together in the final thirds. What were you thought about the opening 45?
Um, yeah, obviously we had the idea to go and be more offensive and create chances and stuff, and we didn't really get it to click in the final third. I think up until the final third we were decent, but we just couldn't get that final pass right. Second half as well, we put a lot of pressure on them, but we still kind of struggled to get the final pass to create a chance, and that's what kind of leaves us even more frustrated, because I think we kind of had we were a bit more dominant in the second half, so not really creating that many chances is quite frustrating for us.
Yeah, like Ryan said, I think we played well between the boxes, and then we got to the final third, it just wasn't clicking. The movement, our passes was a little bit off, I think, and we were able to get on the end of whatever cross we had. So definitely a bit frustrating to not really challenge Max enough to force a bad save, get ourselves a shot on goal, more opportunities to score. So yeah, it's disappointing to end this way.
It never feels good to lose in the playoffs, but does it feel a little more frustrating to kind of lose in this manner, in this style of game?
Yeah, obviously, the game there we've been battered, and tonight I think we've been the better team, but it's still, both games are as frustrating as each other. I think it's a really soft penalty, and then just like Bry said, we were good in between the boxes, and we just couldn't really get going in the final third. But I think at the same time we have to give them credit. They're a good team. They're going to be tough to beat, and as all that they've got going forward, I think the most impressive thing about them is actually their defence and how solid they are. So we've seen that tonight, how tough it was, and it just kind of gives us that extra motivation to work hard in the off season and come back. And for me anyway, I've been here like 2.5 years. The third postseason, I've still not won a game in the playoffs. So it gives us that extra little bit of fire and motivation to be back next year and do better.
Yeah, obviously, like Ryan said, you could kind of see that we weren't played off the park tonight. We're not far off, being successful in this league, making deep runs in the playoffs, challenging for MLS Cup. So I think that's the positive we can take out of this is that we can fine tune a couple of things, and we're competing to be top in this league. I think everyone in the locker room has that belief that we can be that team. So obviously it's disappointing tonight, but we learn from it and we come back next year with even higher expectations.
Ryan, Brian, today the crowd was spectacular, record-breaking attendance. How was it like in that atmosphere at the beginning? And did you feel like, especially in the final third, that kind of maybe played on the minds and the decision-making, a little bit of nervousness in the play in the opening half?
No, I don't think it played into any kind of nerves. I think, if anything, it was, inspirational. I think, got to thank the fans, the city a lot for coming out and supporting us the way they did. It was, I had chills walking out. We've never seen such a, boisterous, loud, packed stadium. So it was really exciting. And unfortunately, we were able to get a win for the fans, but hopefully they enjoy the experience, they enjoyed the fight we put in, and they'll be back next year.
Ryan?
Yeah, I don't think it made us nervous, because obviously it was nice coming out to that and having that many people in the stadium, and it's as loud as I've heard it in here. But once the game starts and you're playing the game, you just kind of, you don't necessarily completely tune it out, but you're focused on the game, and it doesn't impact your decisions in the final third. It's just one of those games that we weren't clicking in the final third, and I mean I don't think that's got anything to do with the crowd or anything, but it was just it adds to the disappointment of tonight that such a good crowd turned up, and you could see at the start of the game what it meant to all the people in the city that came out to watch, and just it just feels kind of shitty that we couldn't give them a result.
But taking the positives out of it shows that the city has increasing interest in you guys and the way that you play. How are you hoping to build on that ahead of next season, as soon as January starts?
Yeah, obviously we want to, like anybody in football, you want to be playing in front of as big a crowd as possible, and I think we've done a good job of kind of reconnecting with the fans in the city this year, and obviously we just want to thank them for the support the whole year. The ones that showed up, every game, and on the Wednesday nights and everything. The fans that have travelled to the away games, we're really grateful for it, and like I've said, it gives us that extra motivation to do better for them next year.
Ryan?
Sorry, I blanked out. What was the question again?
How are you hoping to build on tonight's attendance
and
this crowd for 2024?
Yeah, like I said, it meant a lot to us that they came out, and hopefully the effort we put in was enough to inspire them to enjoy the game. But yeah, like Ryan said, it's disappointing to not reward that support with a win, and hopefully that they can see that we're building something here really special, and that we're not, like I said before, we're not far off from being very competitive at the top of the table, the top of this league. So hopefully they can see that, and they'll be out next year, and we're looking forward to seeing them again.
The second half, LA were very good at breaking the game up, cheap fouls, just slowing the play down. How difficult is it to counter against that?
Yeah, they showed their experience, I think. The way they kind of just, anytime we had any momentum or tried to, get things going, they slowed everything down, and that's just the sign of an experienced group of boys. And there's no doubt it kind of frustrated us that we couldn't, get things going again.
Yeah, like Ryan said, they a lot of experience on their team, defending champs, so it's always going to be tough. And they knew all they had to do was, slow the game down. They got their goal in the first half and just try and manage the game from that point on. So it's always difficult, and they got great players, knowledgeable players, older players. So yeah, it's always going to be difficult the way they were able to manage the game.
I know it's raw and it's kind of hard to really put things into perspective just now, but you both had great individual years. You've won a cup. You're in the Champions League next year. What are your main takeaways that you're both going to take from this season?
Yeah, I think, personally for me, it was important that came and rebounded from last year. I think last year, as a team, personally as well, it was pretty disappointing. And so for us to come back and put this kind of season together, obviously, like you said, winning Can-Champ, winning Cascadia Cup, I think it made the city alive and interested in the Vancouver Whitecaps again, and that's something that we want to continue to build on. It's we're excited to be able to bring a product to this field that the fans are excited about and they want to come see, and we're just hoping to continue that momentum from this year and carry it on to next year.
Yeah, obviously, like Bryce said, it's nice to have good years individually, but at the end of the year, what you remember is what the team achieved, and we managed to win the Canadian Cup for the second year in a row, which is nice. But there was a feeling that we could really go and do something in the playoffs. So it leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, and we're just gonna have to work a lot. That next year things will be better.
Hello. Question is for both of you guys. There were some decisions made, some infractions, some fouls called, some not. What are your thoughts on the individuals tasked with keeping the peace in this game?
That's not for us to really sit here and talk about. That's on the guys in charge of the game, and they're reffing the game as they see it. So we can't. I think it's best we don't say too much.
What you said.
All right. Ron, you had the foot contusion. You were limping a little bit out there in the second half. Vanny mentioned a bit of a collision with Vela last week. How healthy have you been in this last stretch drive?
Healthy enough to play 90 minutes and give my best every week. I'm not going to sit and complain about injuries, because I think Brian will say the same. Anytime after 22, 23-year-old, there's not many games you play where you're feeling at 100%. So Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, my body's feeling fine, but just disappointed with tonight.
I didn't have a foot contusion.
What does the off season look like for both of you going into the winter?
I think obviously we did take a little bit of time off. It's been a long year. Been going for 10 months now, so it's important to take a break, reset the body, reset the mind, and then get going again, get shape, sharpen up some things that we want to work on individually maybe in the off season, and come back ready to go again in January.
Yeah, much the same. Take a little bit of time, just go away, get away from the pitch, forget about football for a little while, spend time with family and stuff, and obviously Brian will go back to Flemington, and I'll go back to Scotland and just kind of, forget about things for a while, and then just make sure we're ready to go come pre-season.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, I know it's maybe a bit early to think about it, but you touched on what you thought of this season. Would you say that one of the accomplishments of this season has been the establishment of how you as a team were able to play and how effective it was? And now that that's sort of in place, because a lot of times particularly it was very pleasing on the eye. When you look back on this season, will you say that that was a really important step to where you would like to go for next season and going forward?
Yeah, I think it was important that, we had especially me and Ryan, we had a full year of fitness pretty much, and I think the whole team came together and really got behind the principles Vanny was instilling in us, and I think we put out an exciting style of soccer. I think people enjoyed watching the Vancouver Whitecaps this year, and I think that's something important that we've been able to achieve this year. I think it's brought a lot of excitement to the club. People who maybe haven't watched the Whitecaps and aren't fans of the Whitecaps started to enjoy the way we played, hopefully a little bit more. So it's been, I think, an exciting year and exciting style of play that we've been able to produce on the field.
Yeah, I think from May, June time, we kind of found our identity a little bit, and seen how we played best, and just kind of the ideas that Vanny wanted we were putting into the game, and there's a lot from this year that we can carry into next year to start off better, because the last 2 years has been a bit of a problem for us, the first 10-15 games. So there's a lot that we can take out from this year that's been really positive, and at the same time there's those little things that we can fine tune and just be better.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
See you guys next year.